Shalom to the elect of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian, and Haitians, and to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the Akim pushing this truth throughout the four ends of the earth, the entire world waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwaf who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah, coming at you with another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification. And this is just a few headlines of what's been going on in the last few days that you don't see on your local news or CNN. So Lord's willing, this be edifying.
Once again, go over what I mentioned earlier this week about whether they were already in a recession, whether right now we living in America are in a recession, but maybe we just don't know. Here's why we ask. The media spin on the recession is back-to-back negative GDP numbers. You've heard that probably a million times. Turn on CNBC, they'll tell you a million times. But according to the National Bureau of Economic Research, there are four actual metrics that it uses for calling what really is a recession. And for more on that, let me bring in somebody who probably can break this down for us. Joining us now is none other than UMass Amherst Professor Richard Wolff to talk about this. First of all, these numbers at least are surprising me. I'd heard that maybe we were in some kind of negative area, but listen to this, Professor. Single-family homes down 5%, new home sales down 13%, housing starts are now down 8%. National Association of Realtors, according to Reuters, is saying that existing home sales have just dropped 1.7% as last month. Even luxury properties, ready for this? Half of the luxury properties with prices over $4 million also are now suffering a price reduction, according to the U.S. National Association of Realtors. I guess the question to you is, what gives?
Well, there are a number of factors. The most important is that even though the so-called unemployment rate is low, real wages have not gone up. And in fact, they've been very stagnant now for a long time. So workers are becoming more and more convinced that they're in for a long, flat time, and they're not going to take a big risk of an investment in a home when they're as uncertain about their economic future as they are. At the higher end, you're beginning to see the results of Mr. Trump's foreign policy. If you attack Muslims, if you attack China, if you attack Canada and Mexico and the Europeans, day after day, guess what? The nationals from those countries who used to park their money in fancy apartments and properties across America are selling. They're not buying. No new ones are coming. And you're pulling the rug out from under the American real estate industry in a whole new way by the recoil of people around the world who wonder how far this Trump phenomena will go. Are there investments in America unsafe? You see it also in the investment. Chinese investments in American companies, which were very high until 2018.
Babylon the Great going down, man.
Like a stone. Wow. They're not safe here, and we're going to live the consequences of Mr. Trump's play acting to get reelected.
Well, here's some.
And these other nations know Babylon the Great going down, man. They know it, man. Okay? These peoples ain't no fools, man. They know this country is collapsing, man.
Something else that may go to that point. We're always told, those of us in the media who cover general news, that what we have to do if we want to know when we're in a recession is measure 2 straight quarters of negative GDP. But there's actually another metric that's used. This comes from the National Bureau of Economic Research. I guess these are the eggheads that measure the actual increment numbers. And what they're saying is the real metrics to follow are real business sales, industrial production, real personal income, I think you were just talking about that, and then labor numbers, participation rate and unemployment. Right. And apparently all of those indicators are consistently down. So are we in a recession possibly and we just don't know about it?
Absolutely. Let me first tell you that the National Bureau of Economic Research is the go-to institution that all professional economists who know what they're doing use. It's nonpartisan. Congressional sources use it. Professors around the world use it. It is the institution that measures the ups and downs, the cycles of the American economy. Long ago, they understood that it is never wise to look at one or two numbers. It's like looking at your temperature and nothing else if you go to the doctor to figure out whether you're healthy or not. You got to look at a number of things, and what you were talking about were some of the other things they also look at. And the reason they're scared is that the only good number these days is the unemployment rate. But when you look at labor force participation, or for example, the disaster now enveloping the automobile industry that can't sell anything, even the SUVs anymore, you're going to see that the other indicators, the one that Mr. Trump and the Republicans don't want out there, are negative. They want you to focus on the one that looks pretty good. Very dangerous if you want to understand what's actually going on.
So, final question.
Wow.
Why in the hell are we going to be lowering interest rates if we're being told that our economy is booming?
Yes, because
Facts.
Mr. Trump understands, because his advisors have told him, what we just discussed, that there's great big fat weakness all over the global economy, even worse in Europe than here, which impacts us. So his fear is that downturn that everybody's pointing to will happen before November 2020, and he will be voted out of office and be held accountable. So he needs to look like the economy is great while putting enormous pressure on Fed President Powell to lower the interest rates to give this economy a boost so he can delay the recession until after the vote is over.
Even if it's completely artificial and has no reflection of what the actual market conditions are. Amazing. Richard Wolff, as usual, enjoyed the conversation. Thank you so much for setting.
Hey, boy, these devils is a trip. Hey, but that's how they is, man. Okay? They are a bunch of liars, man. This is Psalms 58:1. Do you indeed speak righteousness, O congregation? Do ye judge uprightly, O ye sons of men? Yeah, in heart ye work wickedness, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. Why? Because the earth was given to the hand of the wicked. They can do what they want to do. They can lie and make it seem like everything is all peaches and cream when really it's not, man. Okay? It's a downhill spiral, man, of dung, man. That's what it is, man. Okay? A pile of shit. That's what it is. Okay? A downhill spiral of dung, man. They are lying to you, man. America will never be great again. This is verse 3. Psalm 58:3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. Okay? That's these Edomites, man. Okay? In rare form, man. Speaking lies. Verse 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the death adder that stoppeth her ears. And that's these Edomites, man. Okay? Their poison is killer, man. They lie. All they do is lie, man. Okay, Psalm 73:5 tell you that their violence come past them as a chain, man. Okay? They are the wicked, man. And they're going to keep lying. America will never be great. You just heard it. This is new, man. Okay? The Edomites been lying to you, man. This is Job 13:4, and it reads, but ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value, man. So everything about these Edomites is just lies, man. Okay? Everything, man. They're not healing you with their medicines. Okay? For whatever disease you got, their medicines only help you with the symptom, but it do not cure the disease. So they are all forgers of lies. They are all physicians of no value, man. Okay? They are the wicked, man. They was born speaking lies, man. And that's what they do. Speak lies, man.
Good evening. I'm Michelle Greenstein, filling in for Rick Sanchez. Let's get started. We are witnessing the emergence of 5G, the fifth generation of wireless technology. 5G is currently being rolled out in cities across the country. In fact, here's a map of all the cities with either 5G coverage currently or plans for 5G coverage later on, either from AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, or Verizon. 5G is the groundwork for the wireless industry, what they're calling the Internet of Things. A system in which everything from your car to your dishwasher to your door lock to your baby's diapers will be connected to the Internet. If something can be connected, it will be connected in a 5G world. But don't take it from me. Take it from the man who used to head the Federal Communications Commission, the agency which is supposed to be in charge of regulating the wireless industry.
If something can be connected, it will be connected in a 5G world. Autonomous vehicles, smart city energy grids, transportation networks, and water systems. Hundreds of billions of microchips. The 5G revolution will touch all corners of our country.
But this 5G revolution may have a dark side.
Thus saith the Lord, man. Okay, it tell you in Revelation 13 and 16, he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and born, to receive a mark in their right hand and their forehead, man. Okay, and you heard it. You just heard this Edomite say microchips. Okay.
As it turns out, wireless radiation has biological effects. Published, peer-reviewed science already shows that today's technology creates radio frequencies that pose a threat to both the human body and to animals,
Facts.
not to mention to the environment. These existing health effects of wireless radiation are worthy of attention because in order for 5G to work efficiently, cell towers will need to be installed everywhere. That's why over 200 doctors and scientists worldwide are now cautioning that we need research on the health effects of 5G before its rollout. In a moment, you'll be hearing from one of those doctors, with more on the ramifications this new generation of wireless tech may have on your health. But first, let's consider that the brain tumors, infertility, memory loss, nausea, neurological disorders, and anxiety may not even be the worst 5G has to offer.
Wow.
Because with 5G also comes the potential to turn every device into a way for the state to spy on you. Again, don't take it from me. Take it from Mr. James Clapper, former director of National Intelligence, who said that in the future, intelligence services might use the Internet of Things for identification, surveillance, monitoring, location tracking, and targeting for recruitment. Take it from David Petraeus, former director of the CIA, who said, transformational is an overused word, but I do believe it properly applies to these technologies, particularly to their effect on clandestine tradecraft. These technologies could lead to rapid integration of data from closed societies and provide near continuous persistent monitoring of virtually anywhere we choose.
Wow.
So why is the federal government allowing for the rollout of 5G and even encouraging it? Well, maybe one of the reasons is that 5G offers security agencies unprecedented access to the data on our lives.
Right.
To not only the information we choose to share online, but the information we don't.
Right.
It's
Facts.
the news with Rick Sanchez. Let's do news again. Here are the questions we think you'll be asking tomorrow. Will we be protected from the potential dangers of 5G? What's behind the U.S. military buildup in Africa? And how many black holes are in our galaxy? Let's get started. Not only is the government failing to take into consideration the health effects of 5G before rolling it out, it's actually passing laws to fast-track this rollout. These laws make it the right of way in front of homes. It makes them available sites for 5G transmitters without the consent of property owners. Here to explain why this may be so dangerous is Dr. Martin Pall, Professor Emeritus of Biochemistry and Basic Medical Sciences at Washington State University, and the author of 5G, Great Risk for EU, the US, and International Health. compelling evidence for 8 distinct types of great harm caused by electromagnetic field exposures and the mechanism that causes them. Before we get into how 5G, this new generation of wireless technology, which will drastically increase our exposure, is a threat to the human body, what evidence do we have that the electromagnetic fields that we already are exposed to are harmful given our current levels of exposure?
Well, we have about 10,000 papers that have been published and many, many hundreds of reviews that have been published that clearly show that there are massive effects on our bodies based on the exposures we already have.
So what exactly is going to be changing when 5G rolls out? Is it a simple case of more exposure, or is it a different type of frequency?
It's not so much the frequency, although that's important. It's the pulsations that are the critical thing. 5G is designed to carry gigantic amounts of information, as you've already stated. And the way that information is carried is by pulsations. We know that the pulsations make these electromagnetic fields much, much more dangerous. And 5G, therefore, is designed to be vastly more dangerous than anything that we've been exposed to date.
In some of your work, I've seen evidence of effects on fertility in both male and female bodies. I've seen neuropsychiatric effects and cellular DNA damage, which of course can lead to cancer. We've also got apoptosis. Can you explain how we've come to these conclusions? I mean, is this just one study? Is this multiple studies? How can we back up these claims?
Oh, there are many, many, many studies on each of these, and there are quite a number of review articles that have been published on each of those effects. There are also other effects that occur that are life-threatening as well. So, we have, for example, cardiac effects that produce that are life-threatening, and so there's huge amounts of information on each of these things. And so there should be no question that they're going on, and they're going on based on exposures of the sorts that we already have. Exposures from cell phone tower radiation, from cell phone radiation, from cordless phone radiation, from Wi-Fi, from smart meters, etc. All these things produce effects.
Now, to play devil's advocate, one can say that, hey, if you don't want to be exposed, don't buy a cell phone. Don't buy a wireless router. What would you say to those people?
Well, I would say you shouldn't do it. That's true. I don't have a cell phone. I don't have Wi-Fi in my house. I do everything wired to the extent that it possibly can be. So it's perfectly possible to do almost everything that you want to do in a wired configuration, which are much, much safer than the way we're doing things by and large. So yeah, I agree with I agree with your point. Yeah.
Right, and to a certain extent, with the rollout of 5G, you may not even be able to escape yourself from this exposure risks if we're having small cell towers being installed all around the country. Now, what can you tell us about the way entities like the FDA or the National Cancer Institute have been handling this information?
Well, the problem is that in the U.S., the government funding for doing research in this area was cut off between 1986 and 1999. And since that time, the only thing the government has been doing is to push these technologies out. And there's absolutely no effort to determine what kinds of health effects are being created. Fortunately, there's a lot of very good evidence from studies that are going on elsewhere. But the U.S., we take great pride in our science. And as an American scientist, I really hate to say this, but American science basically is nowhere in this area because there's simply no funding.
Something that stood out to me is the possibility of oxidative stress. In your paper, 5G, Great Risk for EU, the US, and International Health, you know that there are multiple studies linking the exposure of electromagnetic frequencies with oxidative stress. Can you explain to us why we should care about a term like oxidative stress? What kind of ramifications does this have on our health?
Well, oxidative stress and free radical damage, which is associated with it, have important roles in causing essentially every chronic disease that we suffer from.
Wow.
So these are very, very important
These devils,
in terms
man.
of human disease mechanisms.
In your opinion,
Wow.
why is it that we see so little coverage about the risks of this rollout, which is already occurring in this country in the mainstream corporate media?
I think it's probably because there's so much industry money that's going into advertising that so much of the media has simply been, in effect, been corrupted by the industry money. And it's really tragic because, as I say, there are literally thousands of studies that show that there are major impacts on human health. There are hundreds of review articles that show there are major impacts on human health based on the exposures we already have. And we have every reason to think that 5G will be much more dangerous because of the pulsations and because of the incredible large numbers of antennae that will be all over the place, making it almost impossible to avoid these exposures.
Dr. Martin Pall, thank you for being with me. This is both fascinating and a bit scary,
Wow.
I have to say.
And these devils gotta go, man. These devils gotta go, man. But these devils is doing some treacherous things, man, with their devices, man. Okay, they're doing some real treacherous things with their devices, man. Wow.
Celebrating 30 years of phenomenal trend forecasting. Here's Gerald Salenti with today's trends in the news.
Hi, this is Gerald Salenti. It's Friday, August 23rd, 2019. And here are some of today's trends in the news. Hey, summertime and the living is easy. Spread your wings and you make for the sky. Yeah, people aren't too.
I'm gonna read this real quick. This is Psalms 97, verse 10. Ye that love the Lord Yahweh hate evil. This is evil, man. He preserved the souls of his saints. He delivered them out of the hand of the wicked. Because we gotta be delivered out of this devil hand, man. This devil is being what he was created for, to be the devil, man.
They're in a
Damn,
summertime state of mind. And they should be tuning in now because what a day in the markets. Over there in Asia, everything was up. Europe, it was down. Here in the States, bada boom, down. That's right. We had the Dow down over 600 points today. NASDAQ down 3%. Gold, up nearly $30. And oil down. And boy, those copper prices, yeah, they're at a 2017 year low. Remember Dr. Copper. Copper is used in everything from high tech to heavy industry. China uses about 50% of new production each year. So, slow down in copper prices is an indicator where the globe is going as far as the economy. Stocks plunged on Friday after President Donald Trump ordered that U.S. manufacturers find alternatives for the operation in China. The major indexes also posted weekly losses for the fourth straight time. This has nothing to do with China. Fourth straight time. Can you count that high?
Right.
It isn't about the trade wars. It's about a global slowdown. And Trump went on to say, our country has lost stupidly trillions of dollars with China over many years. They have stolen our intellectual property at a rate of hundreds of billions of dollars a year. And they want to continue. I won't let that happen. We don't need China. You know what that is? Bullshit. You got it. They didn't steal anything. The slimy manufacturers, the big giants, and everybody else that wanted to use slave labor back when China joined the World Trade Organization. That's right, in 2001, brought all the technology over there so they could use it, from Europe to the USA. That's how they got the technology. They didn't steal it. And we heard from the Fed chair, Powell. And here's what he had to say. Our challenge now is to do what monetary policy can do to sustain the expansion, so the benefits of the strong job market extend to more of those still left behind. You know what that is.
Bullshit.
It's Powell bullshit, one bullshit thing after another. Our challenge is monetary policy only enriched the big guys, too big to fail. That's right. The jobs stink. The wages aren't near what inflation and real inflation is. Way behind it, median household income, Powell, is at 1999 levels. Gold soars 2% after Powell's speech. Yep. That's what he's going to do. He's going to lower interest rates. And we believe they're going to lower them at least a percentage point or more, probably more like almost 2 before the 2020 elections. So gold is up 8% this month, and you know it. I was the first to call the gold bull run. Our trend alert right there. June 6th, 2018, when gold was traded at $1,332 an ounce, and gold today closed at $1,526. And oil, beep, bop, down. You know why? Because the global economy is slowing down. The slower the economy goes, the less you need more oil. Oil prices slid 2.1%. So, how come? Exacerbating concerns over the possibility of a recession, U.S. manufacturing industries registered their first month of contraction since almost a decade. And that's why you got your trend alert today, your trend alert, the Trump market pump. The worst is yet to come. All the details in here, you are guaranteed not to read anywhere else. Why the markets went up in the last week and a half or so, and why they're going down and will continue to tumble. And what else do we have here? Stumbling global economies heighten fears of recession. Manufacturing activity is falling in most of the world's advanced economies. Right? An index of factory activity in August declined, I mentioned, in the US, Japan, Germany, and the Eurozone. The US decline ranked the first manufacturing contraction since September 2009, the depth of the Great Recession. Emerging markets, yep, their indexes are down 5.5% for the month. ECB minutes augur big stimulus, according to the minutes from the ECB released yesterday. Officials discussed the benefits of combining interest rate cuts with bond purchases, buying up corporate and government bonds. In the United States, the budget deficit is set to surge past $1 trillion. The deficit has now risen 4 consecutive years and is on track to rise for the next 4. Such a streak would break the record for the longest run of deficit increases in recorded American history. I mention this because you got a lot of countries in debt. And now we got the Democrats and repulsive kings. The Democrats say, you know, we got to give more benefits. Great. Free healthcare. Great. Free education. Terrific. Where are you going to get the money? Oh, the repulsive kings? We got to cut taxes. That's right. And that, by the way, is why we have these deficits. Because Trump promised that the tax cuts wouldn't have an effect on the deficit. And they did. And, according to the Financial Times, the lower than expected tax revenues in the United States on individual and corporate side this year defied the Trump administration's claims dating to the tax cut package of 2017 that tax relief pays for itself through higher growth. Did not happen. Falling debt costs raise pressure for spending on public projects, like I said, but with global economies slowing down, we're going to get the dough, go deeper in debt. Options dwindle to boost economic growth. With short-term interest rates already low, the Federal Reserve has little room to cut borrowing costs to spur spending and investment. Okay? Companies slow down stock buybacks. You know why? Because they know they're overvalued and they know the greatest depression is on the way. Chinese bankers warn over political act if U.S. intervenes against renminbi. The Chinese bankers in London are warning of a drama that would follow any U.S. attempt to weaken the dollar by intervening in renminbi markets. They would call it a provocative political act. The risks of such action have heightened since June, said analysts, after President Trump repeatedly took aim at China and Europe for, quote, playing currency games. China does not want its yuan to go lower. They have $40 trillion worth of debt. Business debt in China is $3.5 trillion based in dollars. China buys more oil and energy than any other nation, and oil and energy is based in petrodollars. They don't want to pay more as their yuan goes lower. Their renminbi is going down because so too is their economy. And on to some international news. U.S. combat deaths reach a 5-year high in Afghanistan. Isn't that great? Hey, remember the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner Obama? Folks, we're going to be out of there. Folks, we're going to be gone. And as always, he kept foking us and foking us. The lying little foker, who also said folks on his first day being elected in office, sitting behind the desk in the Oval Office. I'm going to close Guantanamo before the end of the year. Oh, he couldn't do it. Oh, yes, he could, because both the Senate and House were controlled by Democrats. And moving on, Trump backs off cuts in foreign aid. He was going to cut foreign aid. I'm all in favor of cutting foreign aid. This is a lot of... You got it. What are we giving our money to other countries for when our country's going down? And giving Israel $3.1 billion a year? This isn't a poverty-stricken nation. Oh, no. I don't want my money going to Israel. I don't want it going to Italy. And I'm a paisano island, and I love those Irish girls. Or anywhere else in the world. I want it staying home. Only bring it there if there's a real human catastrophe, like Yemen. Rather than bringing money there, America sells bombs to kill more of them. Australia will join the fledgling American effort to protect ships from Iranian threats in the critical Straits of Hormuz, the country's prime minister said. Country's prime minister, stay home. What the hell are you doing over there? Iranian threats. So what did the Iranians do? Well, they say it right here. The Iranians seized a British vessel. Yeah, after the British stole an Iranian vessel, but that's okay. Houthis down second U.S. drone over Yemen. In a statement, the United States Central Command said it was investigating the incident, which it said occurred in, quote, authorized airspace over Yemen. What do you mean authorized airspace over Yemen? What the hell are you doing over there? It's the worst humanitarian crisis on earth. And you slime balls are helping to kill more people. Quote, we've been clear that Iran's provocative actions in support of proxy forces, like the Iranian-backed Houthis, pose a serious threat to stability in the region, and our partners, said Lieutenant Colonel Earl Brown, a Central Command spokesman. A Central Command piece of bullshit. That's right. Our partners, huh? Yeah, like the murderous Saudis are destroying the place. That's our partners. And, of course, the Iranians say, and the Houthis say, they're not helping each other. But those are only facts that they say, but the United States can say anything they want. And Kuwait newspaper is saying that Israel is planning to start attacking targets in northern Yemen against the Houthis. And remember, Israel, the United States admitted, struck Iranian sites in Iraq. What right does Israel have to do any of this? Just like the United States really has no right. But could you imagine if there was an attack from Iraq or Iranians into Israel, or the Houthis struck in Israel? Oh, then it would be a real crime, but not when Israel does it. U.S. Admiral says Navy ready to move against Venezuela. What the hell you moving? Stay home. Occupied peace. No foreign entanglements. Hey, General. Hey, Admiral. Hey, Spokesman. You clowns have not won a war since World War II. Tired of hearing your bullshit. Stop invading foreign nations. Stop slaughtering innocent people.
Facts.
Stop driving them into poverty. I wonder why they hate us. Can't figure it out. I'll tell you why. Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. We'll kill over 1 million people there. Will cost us trillions of dollars. And we made up the lie. It's okay.
Hey,
Yep,
they made up the lie, man.
Most powerful Navy in the world, he bragged.
They are forces of lies.
Chief Admiral Craig Fuller. Full of shit. Venezuela's chronic food shortages threaten malnutrition. Fine, Pop. Yeah, more sanctions on them. Close the place down.
Right.
Make it miserable for the everyday person.
Hey.
Because you could care less. The stupidity of this. Major League Baseball won't let play.
That's why the Lord say your reward shall return upon your own head, man. Because you Edomites are destroying nations. You are destroying countries, man. You are destroying the entire planet, man. Okay? You are the harbingers of death, man.
Players participate in Venezuelan League, Professional Baseball League this winter as it seeks clarification to comply with U.S. imposed sanctions. How stupid. How moronic. Hey, it's a government near you, and we got the presidential reality show with the apprentice champion running it. And again, no worse than the murderers before him. Obama, Clinton, Bush. Go down the line. And again, a big story to watch. Stay tuned. Very important. It's globalnomic. All things are connected when we're talking about the economy. Everything I'm talking about has to do with the economy.
Right.
It's all tied together. People suffering, people making money, people losing money, wars. And what's going on in Pakistan. Pakistan's prime minister says he's done trying to talk with India after India seized or annexed, ripped up the agreement in 1947 that gave Kashmir some sense of autonomy, no longer. And he goes on to say, my worry is that this can escalate, and for two nuclear-armed countries, it should be alarming for the world what we are facing now. It should be alarming, but no one's talking about it. Most people don't even know about it. It's summertime. Then you get thirsty in summertime, so you want to drink more water to stay hydrated. Network neighborhood, fears, crime, drugs, and now lead. That's right. They're talking about how the slimy little politicians lied to the people in Newark. Nah, there's no lead in the water. It's fine. And of course, it's loaded with lead. Hey, just like so many other places, more than 1,600 school fountains test positive for lead in California, and actually it's much worse than that. It's all around the country. So rather than spending the money on wars, how about spending the money on peace and joy and liberty and love and improving the life of all of us? I know that's a foreign thought to people that are demented, like the ones running a country near you. I'm going to make a point here very quickly. Alarm in Texas is 23 towns hit by coordinated ransomware attack. Rice cookers shuts down New York subway. This was a few days ago. A pair of suspicious rice cookers shut down the subway stations in Lower Manhattan. U.S. Customs computer outage puts them back up and running. They were down on last Friday afternoon, and they closed down from Los Angeles to Chicago to New York, all around the country. I'm making this clear because I'm talking about the moronic military-industrial complex that are making weapons, building tanks and ships for the last World War. This is going to be totally different. Yes. You can see what happens. Imagine electric grids going down throughout the country.
Facts.
Imagine a nuclear power plant blowing up. 3, 4, 5 of them around the country. Imagine biological warfare.
Facts, man.
Imagine hypersonic bomb.
Facts. We were just talking about this at camp.
War will be the last World War.
Yes, it will.
As Einstein said. I don't know how the Third World War will be fought, but the fourth will be fought with sticks and stones. Help us occupy peace. Go to occupypeace.com. Because if we don't stop it, we have pieces of shit that are leading us to the Third World War all around the world.
Oh, shit.
And remember, history is repeating itself.
Facts.
Trade wars, currency wars, just talked about the yuan, trade wars, we hear it in the news all the time. Great Depression, World War II. Trade wars, currency wars, Greatest Depression, World War III. This is Gerald Celente, and that's some of today's trends.
Hey, and how it's gonna be fought? let's read it, man. Hey, he said Einstein say he don't know how World War III gonna be fought, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones, man. Hey, hey, this country is finished, man. Okay, and you just heard it, man. For one of the top guys, man. This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. And that's how they fought in all the ancient time. Like in the ancient days, what it's describing, they used to get on both sides of the battlefield, okay, lined up with their men and horsemen and shields and sword, and charge out, man. Charge and go out to fight, man. Okay, it say, for every battle of the warriors with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, right? That's how they used to fight when you watch movies like Troy, different movies like that, right? How they show you how they fought in the ancient time. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, okay? That burning is going to be from what? Them intercontinental ballistic missiles, man, okay? And the fuel of fire is going to be people's bodies, man, okay? So this war finna be fought thermonuclear war, man. Thermonuclear missiles, man, okay? And you heard him say it, man. Bio warfare, okay? And they already doing it right now because they putting it in the food, man. They're putting it in the food. GMO food, chemtrails, contaminated waters. All these things is happening, man. A vaccine shot in the kids, giving them autism, man. Okay? They putting estrogen in the food, man. And it's doing what? Making men feminine and making and the women, hey, what's crazy is the women turn to men and the men turn to women today, man. That's what's going on, man. They're destroying our people with the food, man. Hey, so, Lord willing, we're edifying. Gotta give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rakah Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who teach well, and a sincere salutation to all the ark pushing this truth at the four ends of the earth, waking them to hope for the elect. And shalom to the Akbar for our listening and learning. This is our Job 21 and 27. Behold, I know your thoughts and the devices which you wrongfully imagine against me. For ye say, where is the house of the prince? And where are the dwelling places of the wicked? Here on earth, all over the earth, covering the face of the earth. Have ye not asked them that go by the way? And do ye not know their tokens? Yes, we know the tokens of the wicked, man, and their devices. Okay? Because it tell you in 2 Corinthians 2 and 11 that we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. That the wicked is reserved to the day of destruction. They shall be brought forth to the day of wrath. Who shall declare his way to his face? Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. And the word of the Lord mouth, the spirit of the Lord is consuming them now by the prophets, okay? So we say, who shall declare his way to his face? The prophets that stand in great boldness, okay? And who shall repay him what he have done? Yahweh Yahweh Shah is going to repay him. Yet shall he be brought to the grave and shall remain in the tomb. Okay? Everything about you Edomites, man, is over, man. Matter of fact, let me get this precept real quick. Psalm 37. It reads, Psalm 37 in verse, I'm going to start at 14. The wicked have drawn out the sword and have bent their bow to cast down the poor and needy and to slay such as be of upright conversation, which is the elect, man, okay? Verse 15, their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. A little that a righteous man have is better than the riches of many wicked. For the arms of the wicked shall be broken, but the Lord upholdeth the righteous. The Lord knoweth the days of the upright, and their inheritance shall be forever. They shall not be ashamed in the evil time. What evil time? The time of Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? And in the days of famine, they shall be satisfied. Okay? In the days of famine, they shall be satisfied, man. Now, when you go to, let me see, is that, what is that? 2nd Ezra 2 and 27, right? It reads, 2nd Ezra 2 and 26, as for my servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance. The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell, man. Okay? So these devils, man, they finna come down. Hey, that's why I say in Isaiah 59 that they're gonna come in like a flood, man. So back in Psalm 37, verse 20, but the wicked shall perish, and the enemies of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, shall be as the fat of lambs. They shall consume into smoke. They shall consume away. Hey, man, it's gonna be beautiful, man. Okay? Cause these devils is finished, man. Their kingdom is falling. So they got to push on all levels, man. They finna come down with great wrath, man. Okay? Revelation 12 and 12, man. The enemy finna come in like a flood. Matter of fact, I'm gonna close with that. This is Isaiah 59. Isaiah 59 and 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. Talking about the elect. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, shall lift up a standard against him, man. Okay? Because the Lord say, none of his elect shall perish, man. So with that, Shalom.